I'm Matt with eTrailer, and today we're talking about the Titan Chains tire chains on our 2023 Kia Sorento. Now we're going to have this on tire size 235, 65, R17, and we're going to have this on the front axle as what the manual recommends. Now this is going to fit a variety of different sizes. This is just the size we have today. If you're not too sure if this is going to fit your vehicle, you can plug in your vehicle's information into our fit guide to find the correct fit for you. So let's check it out. These are going to be a good set of chains for you for a few reasons. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more affordable and something just to get you through those states that requires you to have chains, even though you really don't need them, they're just required by law, these are going to be good for that, especially since they are really easy to store. And if you just need them for more emergency case uses. What's also going to be really nice about these two is we're going to have these roller links. So there's a few pros and cons to that. The pros is they're going to give you a smoother ride overall since they don't got any hard edges to them. Now the con is they're not going to give you as much traction when you're driving. But if you're only trying to get through those low condition or low snow areas, then you'll be fine. And they're also going to be very low profile, close to your tire. So they're going to give you plenty of room to sit right underneath your suspension. And they're going to be made out of a low carbon steel. So they'll get you through most situations. And we're going to have this ladder pattern design. This ladder pattern design is going to give you more traction when you're starting and stopping. And at the very bottom, we're going to have this lever. What I like about this lever is with some of these chains like this, it's kind of hard to get that additional tension out of these. And they're going to have a little bit of slack to them. But with this lever, that's going to help you pull more tension from this and give you a tighter fit overall. These chains are going to come 2 to a set in this pretty light duty bag, but that's okay. These are some pretty light duty chains too. Now, this is a bigger bag compared to some of the other options I've seen, but it's still kind of hard to take your chains in and out. I was kind of struggling to get them out of this bag, but if you're just looking for something that is pretty easy to store, because this probably doesn't take up a whole lot of space, you probably throw it in your back, or just kind of shove your chains in here and put them underneath the seat. That'll help you do that too. Now, if you're looking for something a little bit easier to store, then I'd recommend investing in a small tote. Overall, if you are looking for something that is more affordable and doesn't take up a whole lot of space underneath your wheel well, and will give you a smoother ride overall, then I think this is going to be an okay option. I definitely think there are some better options out there. One of those is going to be some snow socks. And some snow socks are great because they're actually going to give you a little bit more traction than what these offer. They're going to take up less space in the back of your vehicle and on your tire. And they're just a lot easier to handle and actually to put on too. And you also got to think about taking these off, because taking these off can be kind of difficult too. If you are curious to see what the installation process looks like, just stay tuned and we'll walk you through the process. To start off the installation, I'm going to lay our chains out and I'm going to get some gloves just to make this easier. And if you are doing this for the first time, I recommend staying home and trying to do this, because if you try to figure this out on the side of the road in the middle of a blizzard, it's going to be kind of difficult. But what we're looking for is to make sure there's no damages to our chains and links. Making sure everything looks pretty good. And we also want to make sure this is in the right orientation. So we're going to have these hooks. We want to make sure these are facing up. And then we're going to have a lever at the very end of the chains. We want to make sure this is on the outside. After you've checked that, we can start putting them on. I like to grab mine from the center, lift up, and drape them over the tire. We're just kind of roughly placing this in place right now. And I like to arrange the ends, but they're going to be a little bit easier to grab once we start making our connections. Speaking of those connections, I like to start on the back side, just because it's a little bit easier to start this side first. And what we're trying to do is take these middle blocks and push them through this channel right here. And I'd recommend not making this too tight. We still want a good amount of resistance. We just want to make sure we get it on a spot where we don't have to constantly rearrange this, because we want to make sure it has an even tension on the front and back side. The front side is going to be the same process, just pushing through those blocks through here. Now the only difference really is going to be this lever. Now I'm going to try to get it one more just so I can get a pretty good fit on here. There you go. And now I'm just going to pull this lever back until there's a good amount of tension. I'm going to try to get it around this cable. And we're going to have this little tab here. If you have a lot of excess, you can just store that right here, but we don't have enough length. I recommend just testing it out too, make sure it feels pretty well. I think it does, but I still recommend using a rubber tensioner, because what that's going to do for us is pull out of a lot of slack when we're driving, because what can happen is these chains can shift, and when they shift they can loosen up. So what this rubber tensioner is going to do is pull that out. And when you're placing this on, I like to do it in a star pattern so we're getting a good even distribution of tension. And when you put in the hooks on, make sure those are facing out so they're not making contact with the tire, because they could puncture something. I'm going to give it another pull. It feels pretty good. At this point I recommend just doing the same thing on the other side. Afterwards, either pulling forward or backing up some, making sure it still feels good, and if it does, you can take it out for a ride. That's just a look at the installation and some of the features of the Titan tire chains on our 2023 Kia Sorento. Thanks for watching.